the gentleman sitting just next to me, Mr. Kenny Mashilo. Kenny is a farmer who has benefited from funding from ABSA, and he's from Northwest. His farm is situated between Zerast and Rustenburg, but you've been in farming for a very, very long time. You grew up with it. Tell us about that.
Well, I've been involved in farming with my grandfather, my dad, and as you would know, as you go on, you'll have to go to school. I'm an attorney by profession, but because I had that calling to go back to what I was doing when I was growing up, I went back to farming.
You were working in another life, and then you
Yes.
decided that I'm going to go back
Well,
to
I
farming.
said to myself, at some point I'm going to stop what I was doing and start farming.
What are some of the challenges that you experience as a young, I guess what we would call an emerging farmer, a black farmer, a young black farmer, in a country where land is such a contentious issue and farming is such a contentious issue? And how did your relationship with ABSA help you on your road to growing as a farmer?
Well, I got lucky when I decided that I was going to start farming. I had already put in an application with the Department of Land Affairs in the Northwest, and I was able to get a farm. But it's very tough starting to farm because you will obviously need funding, and you will obviously also must have access to markets. And I got lucky to meet TechnoServe. That's about a year ago.
Okay.
I was introduced to them by an agricultural extension officer from the Department of Agriculture.
What does TechnoServe do?
Well, TechnoServe assists emerging farmers with the technical know-how of how to produce fresh produce, and they as well assist you in terms of accessing markets. So with meeting them last year, they got funding from ABSA, which assisted quite a great lot in terms of starting my production on the farm. They assisted us with a funding last year of about 15,000 per farmer to plant whatever crop that you wanted to plant, and again assisted in terms of how we are going to, after harvest, where we are going to take the produce to.
You shared with me that the number of crops that you grow, or the diversity of the crops,
Yes.
changed after your relationship with TechnoServe.
Definitely, because of the input from ABSA and the funding from ABSA, we initially were growing about 3 crops on the farm. So we are able to, from there on, move to this year with the profits that we made from last year. We planted about 10 crops now.
Wow.
10 crops, and we again have been assisted by TechnoServe with a supply contract, which is going to start in September, to supply fresh milk with 12 tons of butternut.
Wow.
Per week. It's going to be a contract of about 3 months.
I find this very interesting. You said that if you're in the business of farming, you have to know who you're selling the produce to before you even grow it.
Well,
this is what you call access to market, right?
There is access to markets. You cannot go about planting vegetables without knowing where we are going to take them. So with emerging farmers, we have difficulty in accessing markets. In terms of accessing markets like your big retail shops to supply them with fresh produce, it's very difficult. And TechnoServe, with the assistance of ABSA, have been able to, at least in this year, assist us with a contract that we are going to start. Though it's about a 3-month contract, but it's somewhere to start.
Fantastic.
Yes, and we would love to have something like that and to grow the farm as well. We have the capacity to grow, but again, with limited access to funding and limited access to the markets, we cannot do that.
I'm glad you said that, because when I think of the face of farming in South Africa and the face of land ownership, it's not a face that looks like yours. Your face looks like the face of labor. It doesn't look like the face of the farmer. So, I mean, as a young black farmer entering this market, growing, who's passionate about it, what are the challenges that you and your peers are experiencing?
Look, fundamentally, it's markets. Anyone can grow vegetables.
Yeah.
But where do you take them? That is the problem. And again, it's capacity. If you get access to markets, you are now going to have to extend your production. But then extending your production obviously means you've got to have funds to do that. If you don't have access to funding, you're not going to be able to do it. Let's take a scenario of the situation before I got to meet TechnoServe. I was just only a very, very small scale farmer then. But with the assistance of TechnoServe, with the input that they came about with last year from ABSA, we were able to grow our production from 3 to 10.
Fantastic.
Now we are having a contract that we are going to start again in September, and again ABSA has come through as well by making available an interest-free funding that we are going to use for that production. The money has to be paid back to ABSA, but without interest. And again, it's a big assistance to farmers as well, which are emerging like myself.
It's nice that there's also a vision on the part of ABSA for your growth as a beneficiary and how to assist you as you grow. How do you think that TechnoServe could modify, could change this program and make it better going forward for people like you and also for people who are coming after you?
Well, not only TechnoServe, perhaps we can maybe beyond the contract have longer contracts of supply. That's the first thing. And again with funding in terms of equipment and stuff like that. But again, we cannot be assisted by TechnoServe and remain emerging. Again, the obligation is on us to again assist the guys who are coming behind us, so that we can build capacity, so that black farmers can be able to take a meaningful part in supplying fresh produce in South Africa.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kenny Mashilo. You will have an opportunity, of course, yes, please give him a round of applause.